Good afternoon. How are we doing? Good, good. That's the interactive part of the presentation. So thank you for being here, Terry and CVB Advisory Council. Thank you for hosting us today for this announcement. Media, thanks for joining us today as well. So what we're going to talk about today, and I'm joined by some of our partners within the city, Mike Cruson, Darren Smith, Terry Schmidt, obviously with Experience Sioux Falls, and there's several folks with the city here as well. We want to talk about what the next several months in our city are going to look like. And we are a little over 6 months into COVID world in South Dakota. And to say it's been challenging would be a gross understatement. And what has been very convenient for us here in Sioux Falls and in our state is we have been able to experience these last 6 months with great weather. And we can go outside and we can enjoy our great bike trail system, and we can get to our parks, which are incredible, and do all these great things outside. But the good Lord has sent winter every year for the past eternity, and I'm confident He's going to do it again this year. And so that means that we have to figure out how we coexist with COVID-19 over the winter. And we have to continue to look at ways to give our community, give our families, give people in Sioux Falls ways to stay engaged in the community, ways to stay involved, activities to do, but doing so in a very safe, in a very socially distant fashion. And believe it or not, those things can coexist. You can get together with groups, you can have events, and you can do it in a safe fashion. It's not an either or. And we're going to demonstrate how that can be done. To get real serious for a moment, one of the big challenges that we continue to see right now in our community are the challenges that people are wrestling with their mental health. And I'm seeing it in a lot of different areas. One just needs to go to a social media platform and see how triggered people have become over the topic of masking and COVID and presidential elections. And it's a tough time right now. And that is really starting to affect people's mental health. We're hearing it from our healthcare partners. I'm seeing it in my office with the correspondence that I'm getting. And we need to be sure that we're intentionally looking at opportunities to invest in people's mental well-being once the weather turns. And so we're excited today to be launching what we call Sioux Falls Alive. And Sioux Falls Alive will be an opportunity to create engaging programming over the fall and winter months for our residents to safely enjoy throughout the fall and the winter. It also gives us a chance to support our business community. And you in this room as the advisory council, you know better than anyone else that your industry has been impacted probably more than any other industry. Tourism and hospitality is a tough go right now. And we're sensitive to that, and we want to do whatever we can to assist with that. So in Sioux Falls, we don't just sit back and say, hey, it's a pandemic, man. We got to ride this thing out and just wait. No, we're going to innovate. We're going to be entrepreneurial, and we're going to come up with new ways to keep that flame burning in our community. So we're going to be partnering with Experience Sioux Falls, with ASM Global. Again, ASM Global manages our Premier Center, our Arena Convention Center, and the Washington Pavilion to create programming. And there's a reason why we're partnering with these folks, not just because they're city partners and because they have, these fantastic venues, but these folks know how to hold events in a safe fashion. And they've even done so in the midst of a pandemic. We've had bull riding events, and we've had events here in the pavilion that have been held in a safe fashion. And so we're relying on them and their expertise to help us do that. We're also going to encourage organizations across our community to participate around different seasonal themes for these events. And so I'm really excited to introduce Terry. You all know Terry. And Terry is going to talk a little bit more about how this concept was birthed and what we hope to see from our community in the fall and winter months ahead. So, Terry, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to see everybody here today. To say we're excited about this is just a bit of an understatement. This is a great opportunity for Sioux Falls and actually for all of our citizenry and really for the region. I think the Sioux Falls Alive program is going to bring to the surface in this community opportunities that maybe we really hadn't thought of before, take us to the next level, keep people thinking about what can I do to get out of the house and still be safe. And that's what we're all working toward together as a team to make happen. They will be geared toward residents, as I said. We want our community to get out and enjoy what we have here. We're also going to be reaching out to those in the surrounding area. As the mayor just said, our industry is hurting. The hospitality industry is in trouble. And Sioux Falls is no different than the rest of the country. We want people who can drive in, stay overnight a night or two, and enjoy these events that many of people in this room will end up creating in order to draw them to our community. I have to tell you, last month after CVB Council, Tara Allen, a realtor in Sioux Falls, who was our guest at the last meeting, came up to me and said, she'd heard all of our talks. She'd never been to one of our meetings before, and she said, I just want you to know I've sold 3 homes in the last 2 weeks because of what's going on in Sioux Falls, because we are still pushing forward. We're trying to be safe. We're doing everything we can to be safe, but we're living, and they like that. So I think this whole program, this Sioux Falls Alive, is only going to escalate that feeling for people not only around the region, but around the country. We're going to have a website that was supposed to be live right now, and Krista has broken her back this morning trying to make it go, and Midco, we found out just a few minutes ago, has a problem. And it's a bigger problem than us or ClickRain or who we are working with. It's a Midco problem. So until it gets resolved, if you want to check this out, you've got to add the www and then the SiouxFallsAlive.com. Once it's fixed, the www goes away, right, Krista? Okay, all right. So we're hoping that will be done really before we're even finished here today. You can go there, find out all the information you want to about this. This is where the programming will be available. Now, we're encouraging businesses to get involved. We want businesses to think outside the box. This is a strategy that is above and beyond what you normally are doing. So if you're normally doing an event that you do every year, what can you do to make it bigger, to make it a new event that will draw people in and get our people here in Sioux Falls out? We want those people to feel like, while our calendar of events is great in the norm and all the things that you are doing are great, we want you to elevate that now. We're all pushing ourselves to be even bigger and better with those events that gets people excited to come into Sioux Falls. So engage people, think out of the box, let's get them in here. We will be watching for a few things. The events must take place in Sioux Falls. The events must be open to the general public. And the events must be something that locals and visitors would attend. With that, our partners, Darren and Mike, have really gone to work putting together some great ideas, elevating, bringing in new excitement. So I'm going to turn it over to Darren, and he's going to talk about what the pavilion is going to do. Thanks, Darren.
Terry, thank you. Mayor Paul, thank you. There is a precedent for this. The city came to us back in, I think it was May, when they were already starting to make some pretty difficult decisions, and at that time it was a decision around the swimming pools, and knowing what a huge impact that would have on a lot of young people in Sioux Falls to not be able to enjoy the swimming pools this summer, and frankly, a group of kids that probably didn't have a lot of other options in terms of recreational opportunities and things to do. They came to us, and in a matter of days, we put this summer pass program together, allowing free access for those kids to the Washington Pavilion, also to the zoo. And we had tens of thousands of kids, parents, and grandparents come through this summer, both here and the zoo. It was a hugely popular thing in the community. And quite frankly, it helped the pavilion and the zoo at a time when we needed a bit of a revenue boost as well. So it's a huge win-win. And I just feel like that's what we're doing again with this, except on a much grander scale, more widespread in terms of the number of people who will be able to enjoy this and benefit. So I want to start by, again, thanking the city. Mayor Paul said, used words like innovative, creative, and so forth. And that's exactly what this is. That's what they led the charge on earlier this year with the Summer Pass program, and they're doing it again. So we really appreciate that, and we're just excited to be a small part of it. The other thing I wanted to mention just real quick is some of you, I'm sure, talk to people across the country, maybe some more than others, some on a regular basis. I talk to people in my position with theaters and museums and entertainment venues of all kinds across the country on a regular basis. We ask each other, what are you doing? What are you not doing? How is everybody doing? What do those budgets look like? All those things. And guys, I can tell you the word that keeps coming up time and again when I'm on the phone with these people is envious. They are envious that we are in the city we're in and the state we're in, and that we can do things like this, that it's even a possibility. There are venues all over the country that are closed. They've been closed since February and March. They have no prospects for opening anytime soon. They won't be allowed to. And here, by contrast, we're trying to expand what we're doing, again, in a very safe and healthy way, responsible. We know we can do that. We've been doing it for months already this summer. So I think that needs to be said as well. We're very fortunate to be where we are and to be forging ahead and trying to move forward. Okay, so here's what we're going to do at the pavilion as part of this. I'm just going to touch on, kind of paint with some broad strokes here. We are going to launch a free weekly family festival for all ages that will begin in mid-October, October 17th. Every Saturday, we will have free family festivals. This really isn't something we've ever done, but our team is very, very excited about it. We think it's going to be very popular. So I'll give you a taste of what that means. So with the fall theme in October and November, each week, different theme. Themes such as spooky science, Halloween, scarecrows, autumn, and harvest. None of these things will surprise any of you if you've spent any time in South Dakota. So we're excited about that. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is a cult classic, will be featured on Halloween weekend. That should be very popular as well. My understanding is people get in theaters and they throw food and they throw things as they watch this. So we're looking forward to it. Then we're gonna transition after Black Friday. The Saturday after Black Friday, we're gonna transition to more of the holiday themes. So you'll see the first one, Thanksgiving weekend, will be the Festival of Lights to tie in with what the city and downtown is doing with Winter Wonderland in Falls Park. We're going to have a Snowflake Festival. We're going to have a Festival of Cultures, Santa Claus, and then finally New Year's. So again, I don't think any of these things will surprise you. We're not going to outthink ourselves on this. Just good stuff that people would expect, and we really think it's going to be a big hit with families. They'll get to come down, sit on Santa's lap, do that whole drill, write letters to Santa, visit the elf workshop, all those things. Going to be a lot of fun. There will be lots of fun arts, crafts, and science-related programming for all ages, kids to parents and grandparents, each of those Saturdays. Each Saturday will feature your favorite Sidewalk Arts Festival vendors. This is one we're really excited about. We had the Sidewalk Arts Festival here just, less than 2 weeks ago. I think it was the largest one-day event since all of this pandemic stuff happened in March here in Sioux Falls. We had tens of thousands of people come out, excited to be out, again, in a very safe, healthy, and responsible way. So we're going to bring some of those vendors back in here and let them do their thing each Saturday. It's going to be a big draw, not only for the community, but it's going to give these vendors a boost at a time when they really need it as well. They haven't been able to do their thing all summer, and they need to do that. Each Saturday here will feature festival or fair food, so county fair food, state fair food, however you want to characterize it. Always a big hit. I don't know how healthy that will be for a few, but it's going to be fun, and we're going to do it, and people look forward to it. So fried Snickers, turkey legs, and we'll look for some healthy things too, but there's balance. Okay.
Turkey's healthy, it's protein.
Turkey's good, right? Okay. Guys, I won't be performing at any of these festivals. I'm sorry. Trying to add a little sense of humor here. Sorry. Thank you, Terry. Okay, finally, our Science Center and Visual Arts Centers will remain open as usual on these Saturdays, just like normal for our members to come down and enjoy, anybody to come down and enjoy like they would on any other Saturday. So in closing, again, we're just real excited to be part of this. So thank you. And Mike, I think you're next.
Thanks, Darren. Terry, Mayor. This is a historic collaboration where other facilities, normally we wouldn't promote something that the pavilion is doing, and they wouldn't necessarily promote what we're doing. And also where we get the Chamber and Forward Sioux Falls, Downtown Sioux Falls, we get everybody involved to basically push out what events that we're going to be doing. And I'm excited about the opportunity. Unless you live under a rock and you're not on anybody's social database, you are going to know what events in the community are going to be out. And that's very exciting, in our business, because it has been a challenge, believe me, since Summit League ended and we were ready for NCAA D2 wrestling championships. That whole weekend was a blur, and that's kind of was a shock to how fragile our industry was and is, and our economy. So we were fortunate, and just to reiterate what they've said, is we are extremely fortunate to be here. I thank God every day that I am here and not where I was a year and a half ago, because it's good to be in Sioux Falls. With that being said, we've been fortunate to host an event already, a weekend of event back in July with PBR Unleash the Beast, which was the first indoor event since the pandemic shut everything down. And so with that, my company, ASM Global, enacted what we call Venue Shield. It's a bunch of protocols in regards to safety and how we treat our staff, how things that we have for the public regarding hand sanitizers and social distancing, social consideration, social responsibility. So that went over exceedingly well. I can't tell you how many people after that event reached out to me and wanted to see how we did as a model. So again, Sioux Falls was in the eye of the nation for that, and we performed admirably. And again, that also goes back to the community support that helped us do those things. We talk about creating events, and we've had a short window of opportunity here to come up and create these events. And so we're fortunate that certainly my company, we have a database of events that we've done at other buildings that we can draw from and try to fit into the theming for this time period. I can announce that some of the events that will go on is we will have a beer fest October 10th at the Sioux Falls Stadium. Yeah. Got to get that beer. So it's Oktoberfest. So we're having a beer fest there. The Canaries are doing that. We're working in conjunction with them. October 31st, the same weekend as Rocky Horror will be here. We're doing a one-of-a-kind, a masker rave ball. So it's a costume ball, 21 and over, from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So there'll be DJ dancing. It's going to be a great time. That's in our convention center. November 14th, we are doing Yoga Fest. We did this last year, and it was hugely successful. We sold out. This year, we're going to do it a virtual hybrid event. So there will be some spaces that you can actually come into the classes, but then the rest of it you will online register, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home, whether you feel comfortable with yoga pants on out in public. You can, if you don't, you can do it from your own home and be part of that. So we're very excited about stepping into this new era with hybrid events and stuff like that. An event that's for January, we're looking at Barks and Brews. So this will take place in the arena. So bring out your animal, run around and enjoy beer. So we like that. So I think it'll be a great time during that thing. I'm understanding there may be some snow in January. If not, it'll probably be cold. So it'll be a great time to get your animal out in a closed environment and that they can run around, and you can run around too if you like. We're also working on finalizing a cornhole tournament, which will take place in our facility, working on the dates, trying to work around some existing programming right now. But again, and that's just about not even a third of the programming that we're working on for the community, and some of those things will be available for other people to come in outside the community and hopefully spend the weekend, visit our shops, stay in our hotels, those type of things. So again, I and my team are extremely excited about this opportunity to work closer with our other partners, the Pavilion, Experience Sioux Falls, the Chamber, et cetera, to really, again, provide content for the community. And, when the pandemic is over, and it will be over, we still continue to plan that we will continue these events because, again, I think it just is great programming. And, mental health is important, to be able to get out, socialize, see people's faces, whether they're behind masks or not, but that ability. You can only do so much Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and you start to lose it. So, again, I look forward to seeing many, if not all of you out at our events. And also, just kind of stay tuned. Later today, there will be an announcement going out about an event that we secured. It's a 2-day event in the first week in November. We're very excited about. That'll be in the Premier Center. And then we are also doing later in October a drive-in concert, and that announcement will be forthcoming too. But I can tell you it's October 11th, so it's a drive-in concert. Should be one of the first of its kind here in Sioux Falls, and we hope that model, as it's been in other cities, is well received, and that we can do more of those. So, thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, thanks, Mike. Yeah, in addition to the stuff Mike just mentioned, they're still getting inquiries for events, and there's some fun announcements coming up. So thanks for all the work your team is doing out there. I know it feels like Groundhog's Day some days, but yeah. So that's what's going on. SiouxFallsAlive.com. You can check that out, and hopefully a lot of your venues and a lot of your establishments, businesses will help us promote this, get the word out. I have a feeling that there will be regional interest in this, where people want to come to town for some of these events, which will hopefully lift the revenue for all of us and be good for our community. So with that, I certainly would love to take any questions that you may have for me or any of our partners on this great collaboration. All right. I'm not seeing any, so thank you. Thank you for being here. I think you guys are going to continue on with your meeting, correct? Your business meeting. So I'd like to just take the last second here to recognize these three folks, because they are a lot of times the faces for what's happening in the entertainment industry and the tourism industry, and they've been really working hard to make lemonade out of lemons. And this is another example of that. And it's been very difficult work and very hard work and tireless work. So I want to thank each of you for being great partners for the city of Sioux Falls. It sure means a lot. I would love if you guys would just give them a round of applause for what they do. All right, and with that, your meeting can begin, Terry.